So today we're talking about something that might sound completely off at first, right? Humor and trauma. How does that go together? Yeah, I know you might be thinking, bro, that sounds like you're gonna start making fun of someone's childhood neglect, and that's not funny at all. And I agree. And I'm like, bro, chill out. I didn't even tell you what this video is about. Today we're talking about how trauma and humor can actually heal that trauma. Heal. So if you grew up with trauma, chances are you developed a few survival skills like overthinking, people pleasing, hypervigilance, and some sort of sharp, witty, dark, and sometimes inappropriate humor. Yep, that's me. And oh, I forgot, the laugh so you don't cry instinct. That's extremely sharp in people who've dealt with trauma. And so you might be thinking, bro, that's just being immature. And I'm like, hey, that's not just being immature. That's your nervous system trying to keep you from imploding. Humor is a release valve, right? So when your pressure gets a little too high, you just crack a joke. And sometimes it's not at the right time, but that's your system's way of saying, hey, the pressure got too high. I need to release this pressure before my nervous system blows up. Hopefully your nervous system doesn't blow up, because if it does, you can call me and we can talk about that. So when we laugh, our vagus nerve actually lights up. The beautiful vagus nerve that's located over here and just goes all the way down to all the important parts of your body. Well, that same nerve, it controls our ability to calm down after stress. It's like hitting a reset button on your whole nervous system, and laughter releases dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and a whole bunch of other beautiful chemicals that serve as a natural brain antidepressant. I mean, that's just like a freaking trifecta if you ask me. And so what that does is it quiets the amygdala, the alarm detector, right? That's just always ready to scan for threats. And CPTSD survivors, that amygdala, it stays stuck on overdrive, always ready to pounce when there's no danger. So when you make a joke in the middle of chaos, your body is actually not betraying you, it's trying to regulate. So here's the freaking actually wild part of it, right? Trauma survivors are often some of the funniest people you will ever meet. We spend years reading a room, predicting danger, sensing shifts in tones, micro expressions. We can read it. That's basically what comedians do for a living if you think about it. Humor becomes your emotional jujitsu. You might be thinking, why humor, right? So think about it like this, right? It takes what was meant to break you, trauma, and it turns it into timing, empathy, and connection. So when you crack that perfectly inappropriate joke, hopefully at the right time, instead of everyone saying, wow, this is chaotic, they say, wow, this guy is pretty damn funny. Man, we really needed to laugh at this moment. Expert mode. And that's mastery. You being able to read the room and crack a joke at the appropriate time, as long as you're not denying the situation and just making the situation lighter. But let's keep it 100% funky. He said that word. But let's be real here, right? There's a fine line between healing humor and hiding behind humor. And I know those two very well, because I used to hide behind humor when I was younger, but now I use humor in my sessions and on myself in order to heal trauma. So if you're constantly making jokes to avoid your pain, your body still knows the truth. Like, bro, we're still kind of fucked up down here, so you can make jokes, but we still feel the trauma. It's called unresolved trauma. And if you're doing that to your body, it's like trying to put a band-aid on a bullet hole with a smiley face drawn on it, right? So you're gonna still have the bullet hole there, even though the smiley face is there, and chances are you're gonna die. So you might as well call 911 to try to get you some help. Unless you're involved in some real shady shit, then you can't call the cops, because they're gonna arrest you and send you to prison, and you're gonna have a bullet hole stuck in your neck. I guess that's a RIP in advance. Peace, bro. Now you might be thinking, Joe, you're telling me that humor actually erases the pain? No, I didn't say that. What I said was humor actually doesn't erase the pain, but it lets you hold on to a light moment just for a little while you're trying not to drown, right? It's like saying, hey, yeah, what happened was messed up. I survived, but I can still laugh about it and not minimize it. Like my father, he was super abusive, but when I grew up, I realized he was 130 pounds. Me, I'm 230 pounds. If I was to see my dad, he's dead. Hopefully I'd never see him, because that'd mean I'm seeing a ghost. But I can body slam the hell out of him and he can't do nothing. And because I'm a brown belt jiu-jitsu, well, I'm going to hurt the guy. And that's laughing at it. I'm not minimizing what happened to me, because it was pretty fucked up, but that's the reality check. If he was still around, I'll be a much bigger man than him. Stay there, little man. Humor, when used intentionally, is one of the most powerful regulation tools you can use. And here's how. First, notice when it shows up. When you laugh at the hard moments, don't shame yourself. Be like, yo, bro, why are you laughing at that? That shit is so inappropriate. No, that's your nervous system saying, hey, we're trying to come back online, so we have to just laugh for a second, because I need to regulate my goddamn self. Second, use humor to connect. I know I do all the time. Not humor that cuts at people and laughs at people, but humor that laughs with people, not at them, because no one wants to be laughed at unless they're part of the joke and they have dark humor like you and you guys are just roasting each other. That's a different story. When you find others who understand your story and can laugh with you, that's healing community, bro. I mean, I get it in my comment section all the time, bro. You're super funny, you're relatable, you're funny, and you're even funnier than most comedians. And I'm like, that's because I used to be a comedian, but I failed really miserably at it. I actually have a show on the comedy channel where I used to do skits. It's called the Joe Chappelle Show. That was bad. That was bad. That was a joke. Third, using humor as a reset. Right? That's like the ultimate reset button. You watch something genuinely funny. And that's what I do if I'm feeling like really stressed out. I just watch something, I lock in, and my brain goes, oh, we're actually shifting. We're shifting different states of mind. We're no longer upset and sad. We're laughing now. Laughing sends a direct signal to your brain that goes, okay, we're safe now. We can chill. So even therapists use gentle humor in their trauma work. And I'm guilty as charged for that. Any of my clients can tell you, sometimes he says the craziest shit that makes me laugh, that breaks that chaotic moment just for a second so we can laugh together. And I'm not laughing at people. I'm not making light of an event or making light of your pain, but that brain shift state is actually a brain shift state. When someone laughs, even briefly, you move from threat to curiosity. And in that tiny window of curiosity, healing actually becomes possible. So here's what even is more powerful, right? Humor itself builds belonging. When you share a laugh with someone, your brain releases the love chemical called oxytocin. And that's the bonding hormone, right? So every time trauma survivors laugh together, they're not just sharing a moment, they're literally repairing their attachments. They're reminding each other that, hey, connection is safe, even if we're just laughing at a moment that might be slightly inappropriate. It's okay, bros and brosettes. We can hug it out, laugh it out, and then we can cry later. If you lived through trauma, you already earned a PhD plus in pain. I know that firsthand, and I know it in working with the clients that I do. But when you can laugh at your story, not try to avoid it, not try to bury it, suppress it, right? You honor the fact that, hey, bro and brosettes, you made it. That's transformation. Every time you laugh, you're teaching your nervous system, hey, dysregulated nervous system, we can actually poke fun of ourselves and be safe with ourselves and laugh at ourselves. And wow, that is joyful to feel laughter instead of depression, anxiety, disassociation, trauma trigger 1 through 955 million, because that just sucks. Healing is definitely serious work, but it doesn't have to be joyless. Sometimes the most sacred moment in trauma recovery is when you finally laugh again, not because it wasn't painful, but because you're strong enough to hold both truths at once. This fucking child abuse sucked and it ruined a couple decades of my life. But look at me now. I'm stronger. I'm healing. I'm laughing. I'm trying to get help. I got this freaking awesome guy on YouTube telling me how awesome I am. And together, we're just awesome together. And I'm just going to shake back and forth and move my eyes like this. Because my eyes look funny when they move together, because this one's a little lazy. Actually, it's a lot lazy. This shit is like sleeping on a freaking sleeping bed right now. A sleeping bed. You mean a water bed. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. If this helps, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. Because lately the algorithm's been on fire, bro. You guys been helping it be on fire, bro. Silent Mind Fire Counseling, bro. Peace.
Have you checked out the Silent Mind Counseling YouTube channel? It's fire, 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 bro. You need to check it out.